So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this series about shopping. You might want to watch it from the beginning so that it makes sense. And so, here we go. So grab your coffee, and if you wanted to share one with me while you're at it, links for that down below. And we are going to continue with this by me talking to you about the shadow aspect of the shopping process. So, in the other videos, the previous videos, the ones that I have done since the beginning of this channel, I have a reproduction list or a playlist about standing in line or making lines, because quite frankly it's going to be one of those things that you will have to do. I talked to you about scarcity and the effects on the people that work in the stores, because people that work in the stores are going to have to stay there, basically because that might be the only way that they can actually get priority in terms of shopping, and therefore they will damage the barcodes on certain items, they will hide stuff, they will do a lot. And I have mentioned everything that you probably want to do about that. So I have mentioned how to find things, how to the apps that you probably want to download. I have mentioned all of that. Then there is the thing about the pricing. I have mentioned that you can also use coupons depending upon where you are. In my country we have we don't use coupons frequently. Like, I would probably have used that maybe once in my entire life, and it was during good times, by the way, not bad times. Coupons is one of those things that will disappear because obviously this is going to become an issue. Because of money having less value every time that you get it, and so whatever thing that you can get for whatever price is probably going to be worth something later if it is sold or taken by the right people. So if I have already covered all of these in the reproduction list about shopping, and I also have a couple of books about what to shop and what to store and how to do that and all of that in the Gumroad page. And I also have a lot of videos on the list of things that you might want to buy. And I also have a list about certain items that you might want to get or not get because they are kind of like weird or whatever. So all of those are in the reproduction list if you wanted to take a look at that. All of them are relevant because if you're going through a place that is going through inflation right now, you will go through the same process. So it doesn't matter, if I went through this process 10 years ago, you will go through this process now. So all this information is already in the channel if you wanted to take a look at that. So things like, what is happening right now? We have inflation. Okay, so how are you going to deal with that? Well, I have already mentioned everything that we have done to deal with this. We organize the neighborhoods so that people do not have to stay overnight to try to buy something when it's available. We find substitutes. We did a lot of things. So the most important one, I think, that you might want to understand is the one about making and standing in line, because quite frankly that is going to be the biggest problem, especially if you're elderly or if you have kids or stuff like this. And if you are alone, you might have issues about where to park your car and how to carry the things if you are alone, because you might be a target, especially if you're a woman. Now, having said all of this, then today's video is going to be about an ETI, which is everyday trade and inconveniences, because shopping is going to become one of those things. Changing locations again. God, I get interrupted all the time. And so anyway, so today's shopping list or shopping video is going to be about a new trend, and it's going to be one of those things that it's kind of interesting, and this is why I'm making this video. Shopping involves people returning things. So here is a problem, because if it is hard times and you have women, mostly women, that are buying a dress and the next day they return it after they have used it, and it is kind of like a thing, because you already have something that is used, and then now you cannot sell it, and you cannot tell anything to the customer and things like this. So the first thing that is going to happen is that stores, especially big stores, are going to change the way packaging for the products happen. So let me explain. If you wear the dress and you remove the tag, the dress, if you're going to wear it, you will need to remove a tag. If you remove this tag, that means that you cannot return it, because it will be kind of like, it will be proof for the next person, that gets this dress, that this dress has not been used. So products will have a different kind of packaging, and that way, you will not be able to return it, unless you actually have a good cause. And that way, the store might, and I do mean might be able to resell it. The other problem is when you are returning something, and the people are asking for the money back, and you are giving them store credit. This is going to happen a lot, because people will want their money back, and some people will want store credit, and some people will just want another item, because the way that it can go is kind of like, I bought this and I want a new one because this one doesn't work, or I bought this and I want my money back, or I bought this but it's the wrong one, but since I have business with you, then I want to have store credit. And it's going to create a problem, because now almost everyone is going to return everything to the stores. Seriously, people will just open the packages and they will take something out of it. Like, let's say, for example, you're taking a TV, and then they will take the remote controller, and then they will give you back the TV without the remote controller. And so the client will keep the remote controller, but they will give you the TV back. And so, or because there are problems with electricity, let's say that you bought a blender and now you're using the blender, but because there was a problem with the electricity influx and there was a spike on the current or whatever it was, the thing got damaged. And so I'm returning it to you. This will happen with a lot of things, including but not limited to cars. Car spare parts, oh my god, the car spare parts are going to be one of those things that is going to create a war. Seriously, a war with you, the mechanic, the company, the insurance. Oh my god, it's insane, the whole drama. You trying to return or trying to get the proper spare part for your car, because it's going to be one of those things that goes kind of like, if it is Chinese made, it is 1 millimeter bigger or smaller, even though it's the same model, so it doesn't work. And then this is not original, but the original, you don't even know if it is the original or not. Or then the American model versus the European model of this spare part is the same, but it doesn't weigh the same, and then it doesn't work the same. Oh my god. So seriously, it's just going to be one of those things that it will give you a nightmare. Dealing with your car, and the spare parts, and then the returns. Oh. Oh god, I'm just happy that I don't have to go through that. But quite frankly, I have gone through that with my neighbors, and I did have to go through that when I had a car. And oh my god, it was, oh crap. If you wanted to know, it was like a melodrama kind of thing. Trying to get the spare parts for the vehicles is just insane. And in fact, you trying to get the spare parts for your blender is also going to be one of those things that you go, seriously, I need my blender, oh crap. And so shopping, and you're thinking that, well, I can just buy it online and get it back or whatever, but here's the thing. During hard times, two things can happen. Either people will go and shop more online, or they will do less online. And that becomes a problem. What is going to happen with the culture that you already have? So culture is going to play a huge role on returns. Because you see, if you buy something in my country, for example, the probability of somebody returning it is 1 in 100, maybe less. Because most people just buy the thing, get out, and then we don't bother. It's very, very, very rare when you see somebody returning something. It has to be because the person, the client, is pissed. Quite frankly, it's not the same. See, if you have a 2-year-old and you give them one toy or whatever, they're fine. Even if they're probably going to play with the package and they don't care. So Venezuelans, we don't care. Most of the times, we don't do returns. Okay, we pay for it, we leave, we don't bother. We are not going to go back. And we don't have a culture in which we buy everything online like the US or whatever. We do buy things from a web page, between people. As in, people from one state will sell stuff to people in another state. And that one we do have to handle returns. And even if we have to handle returns, it's just insane because the amount of money that you will have to pay for the shipment and the cost of the shipment is just too insane to handle. And so you will rather go, no, I'm not going to spend $10 to try to return something that costed me $11. So I would rather just resell it or throw it away. That's how it's going to go. And by the way, at this point, it will be kind of like the same for you. Because try to imagine that, let's say that Amazon right now, they have a policy in which if you want to return something, all you have to do is place the label and Amazon takes care of the shipping as long as you put it in a place. So you go to your work and on your way home or your way whatever, you just drop it there and it's done. However, if you were to have to pay for the shipment of that item to Amazon, and you are not going to be reimbursed for the shipment of those things, and you will also have to pay for the shipment of everything, that is a game changer. That will be like the first game changer that you're going to deal with. Who is going to pay for the shipment? The second thing about return is it will be how are you going to get your money back and when? Because you see, if you ask for your money back from Amazon, you probably get it within a week and you don't care because there is no problem. However, what about if Amazon says, okay, once we get the item, we will process it and then we're going to give you your money back 60 days from now? Then you go, oh, hell no, I won't bother. Because I'm not going to wait. If I'm buying something for $10 today and in 60 days from now, I will have to pay, $800 versus $10, and I'm going to get the same $10 60 days from now? No, I would rather, So people, it's kind of like, oh my God, it was the wrong size of shoes. Yeah, I'm reselling it. So you will call off your family members and you will call everybody, or you will just give it out as a present for somebody else. You will not bother because if your money is going to be returned 60 days from now, yeah, it will be kind of like you pay $10 and the company is going to give you 10 cents back. And so, will you trade $10 for 10 cents? No. So most people will, will do the same thing that, we are doing, which is we are reselling everything that we don't have, that we don't have need for, or is the wrong size, or it doesn't fit anymore, or whatever it is. We used it and we are going to sell it half the price, because even if we get half the money back, it will still give you enough money to pay for maybe a small taxi, or maybe you can buy something small for today or whatever, and it will help you. And at this point, a lot of companies will also tell you no returns. of anything. They will have a big thing on the front that says, we don't handle returns. So be very careful about what you're getting, because what you're getting, once you leave the store, you are not allowed to return it. Period. And so you as a client, you can get as piece as you want, but no one is going to return your money. You can do any scandal you want, but the manager will tell you, we have a no return policy, especially on sales. We go kind of like, this is on sale, so they don't have returns. There is no returns. And so a lot of people will try to deal with those, because, when something is on sale and there is no return, you might be able to make a profit out of it, but it will depend upon your ability to sell and your ability to deal with a lot of issues, like I said, from the returns. And so returning stuff is going to become a hassle. You're not going to do it. Sending stuff is going to become too expensive. You're not going to do it. Trying to get, something from the store and be mindful about whether or not it's the same things or whatever. That's also something that is not going to be done or doable. So, for example, if you buy the wrong spare part for your car, now you're going to have to resell it. And so reselling the spare part for the vehicle, it will have to be somebody who has the specific vehicle that fits that spare part. And you getting that client, is a hassle. You are not going to do it anytime soon. So basically, you are now going to have to take the mechanic with you, because, by the way, a lot of people will be pissed at the mechanics so much that they will go, you are going with me to the freaking store and you are going to be responsible. You're choosing that thing on the store because I can't return it, and therefore you are going with me. I don't care if you send me the picture. No, you have to go with me, because you gotta take the parts, and then I gotta make sure that it's right and whatever. And so the mechanics will charge you way more, because now the mechanics are going shopping with you. And can you imagine the mechanic being like, so I came back 5 minutes ago and you want me to have the car ready? Yeah, I'm sorry, your car is going to be ready in a week. And things like this. And oh my God, your relationship with your mechanic is going to be one of those things that, and it's going to be an issue. So your best bet is to actually establish an extremely good relationship with the people at the places that send packagings. I have already mentioned this in a video, in a reproduction list about sending packages, which, by the way, I think I finished it, but I can't remember whether I finished it or not. So, and you also want to have a proper relationship with the mechanic's suppliers. Because the mechanic usually is not the one, the mechanic is going to be busy dealing with your car. So somebody has to go and get the spare parts and the billing and the insurance and all of these things. So you want to be very courteous and very nice and kind with these people, because it's going to be one of those things. And if you're a woman, I'm sorry, if you're a woman, you're going to be nice. And if you're going to be nice, you're going to be screwed all over. So you need a guy, because guys are going to be kind and they are not going to be nice. They are going to be kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm a man. Are you actually telling me that this is done like this and this and yeah? So you probably need a man. So the whole situation will play a role against you if you are a woman or if you are a man, depending upon the return situation. If you are going to return a dress and you are a guy, the woman in the counter might go kind of like, I'm sorry, did your wife use this or something like this? And then you go, I'm sorry, my wife just told me to return this. I don't know, I have no idea, and things like this. And then you are going to be screwed all over, because you are a man and you probably don't know how to answer all the questions and returns about women's clothing and the shoes and the things for the kids and things like this. Oh my God. So, it will play a big role depending upon, what you want. You either do you want to be heard, or do you just want to solve the problem? And it's going to be one of those things in which your temperament is also going to be a thing. Because if your temperament is kind of like you are too blunt and things like this, yeah, you are going to be making enemies, and you are also probably going to be labeled as a demon. By the way, at this point, I can also tell you that the stores will have labels for certain clients. They will go kind of like, no, that's a demon. Don't deal with them. Don't do. No, if that person is near, nobody wants to be near you. Nobody wants to answer you. Nobody wants to do anything with you. And in fact, there are people that complain and return absolutely, like, they buy 10 things and they return 7. And that is because they are too perfectionist, too maniacs, too annoying, too whatever it is, or too bad luck, because that also happens. You happen to have the worst luck ever, and oh my god, it's insane, the whole situation is with return. And when you are dealing with these kind of people, and you say something like, my name is this, oh, they already have you on file, and they already know that you are a demon kind of client, and so they will send you with the most kind and nice, both, by the way, both things. You have to be extremely nice, and you have to be extremely kind at the same time, type of representative to deal with you. And they will do it as they will skip the line for these kind of people, because if you have 20 clients and they are all kind of normal except for the demon one, oh no, the demon is skipping the line. The reason being, this person has been here almost every day, complaining about almost everything. It's like they will take priority, and all the other clients will be pissed. Because if I'm in a line trying to get something returned, and then I can see that somebody else is, being ahead of me, even though that they went in before, I was there before them and things like this, it's going to become a drama, because I'm going to tell the manager, hey, that person he was here for 5 minutes, I have been here for 5 hours, and nobody's taking my case, and yet he's here for 5 minutes. Yeah, and the client and the manager is going to be kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, lady, it's just that that is a special case, yeah, they're not going to tell you that they are labeled, those people as demon clients. They are just going to tell you that that whatever it is that the client, that the manager might be able to tell you, depending upon how much trust they can tell you, or how much they can actually say without causing a riot inside the store, because the store might be hot, because there might be not air conditioner, the system might be down, there might be so many freaking things. When you're trying to return something, you can spend literally hours on the store, on the phone, online, and god, it's just not the hazard. This is why Venezuelans, we don't do returns unless we're pissed. And if we go to the store and returns, all managers go, oh my god, somebody's returning something. It's like there is war happening. Oh my god, seriously, run and all. Call the managers, call these. People kind of, all the everybody in the store will kind of panic if somebody's returning something, because they. Come on, we're Venezuelans. We don't care about anything. So if we're returning something, it's because we're creating hell, and so people know. And you will see the women, the women. Women will be the one that return things more than men, by the way. Because the men will just go kind of like, you know what? Just take this freaking thing, and they will crash whatever it is that, they're returning. They will probably break it and return it to the store. It will be kind of like you. Men will do a tantrum completely different than women. Men will go kind of like, you can eat this thing and then hit it against the floor or whatever. And then they will say something like, oh, and by the way, I'm canceling the credit card order or whatever. I'm calling the bank and things like this. And then, you will lose all the clients and everything. Oh my God. And then they will record everything on the media, social media. And then the client will go, I am throwing this on the floor because this manager did this and 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 that. And now you're evil. And the store will be evil, and oh my god, it's so bad that you will probably lose everything if a man goes into a store like that. And the woman will go differently. The woman will go kind of like, where the hell is the manager? I want to know what kind of a manager is so evil that you are cheating on small tiny women. Why will you be against us? Oh my God. And then everybody will be looking like, what happened to you, lady? What happened to you? The grandmothers mostly or something like this. It's just that I'm sick, and these men, oh my God, they don't care. Oh my God, I'm a client. I have been here forever, and this man just they sold me something that was bad, and oh my God. And then everybody will go, oh my God, seriously, how the hell can you not, support your clients and things? And so, no, you don't want to mess up with people that are mentally 2 years old when it comes to handling anything. So, we don't play, it will depend upon your culture. So how do people do returns in your country? Will depend upon you. Like I said, in a lot of places, they will have a list of clients who are considered demons. Other places and companies and stuff, they will have, they will have probably, just regular people that go kind of like, I'm doing a return because of this, and please just take it, and that's it. They wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it will depend, because let's say that you are the only person who is returning something and the story is okay. However, here are the things that you are not considering when you're handling the return. If there is no system because the internet is off, then if you have 10 clients today who are making a return in your store, those 10 clients are going to stay there until you process the return. And if there is no system, you gotta tell them, I don't have a system. So do you want to go home, or do you want to come back later? If they cannot come back later, they will stay there and they will be pissed off because the system isn't working, and it is your fault because you don't have a backup. And you don't have a manual thing about how to do the return. And people will be like, why do I have to wait until you have a computer system and things like this? Why don't you, So in the beginning, people will be pissed. But right now, later, like 2 years after the collapse or whatever, people will go kind of like, you have a system? No? So where the hell can I make this return? Or what do you suggest I do? And then the cashiers, mostly, people that handle the cashiers, oh my God, this is why cashiers are going to be making 5 times the amount of minimum wage. If everybody else is charging, is taking $5 per month, the cashier are going to be making 25. The reason being, the cashier is going to be the front of the managers and everything, and the cashier is the one that has to solve the problem, the one that has to deal with the clients, the one that has to deal with everything, and the one that has to know everything that there is to know about the store and everything. And oh my God, it's insane. The cashiers are like the link. It's like the blood in your body. Nothing works without the cashiers. And so, if you have a horrible cashiers, or the cashiers, you don't know how to treat the cashiers, the cashiers are going to be your main thing, because they're the ones that will say, they will help people to make the returns. They were the ones that will help people that do not understand the systems. They are the ones that will be answering 1,000 clients a day, about how much is this, how much is this, how much is this, because, a lot of people will be like, can I afford this ham? Can I afford this jam? Can I afford this cheese? Can I afford this? I don't know about this. Oh, and like I said, all the rest of the crew members are taking down the labels and all of these things. So the cashier is going to be looking at you like, okay, I don't have a barcode for this. Give me a minute, because I gotta figure out what the barcode is. And at this point, if you have a cashier that is your friend and things like this, they will tell you to download the apps and all of the things that I have mentioned before. And so the whole shopping process is also going to become dark, because a lot of people will try to do returns. You can't, or it's not going to be worth it. And even if you manage to return it, it's just not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth your time, your effort. If you have to go to the store, and you don't have gasoline, let's say that you have to go to Walmart physically, if you have to go to Walmart and you going to Walmart costs you, you know, let's say half an hour in your car, that's half an hour of you consuming gas going and half an hour returning. So 1 hour of you driving just so that you can make a return. And so, most people, they will just be, don't bother. Also, people do not keep the receipts. And if you do not have the receipts, how are you going to make the return? If you don't have the receipt, it's just one of those things, and you're a man, you're probably losing all the receipts, because a lot of men do that all the time. Mostly men, not so much the women, but, I'm not saying that women don't lose a receipt. I'm saying that, statistically speaking, men have a tendency to lose the receipt more frequently than women. Probably because, men are kind of like, I already paid for it, I don't care, I'm not going to do all this drama. But women will go, oh no, we're going to go through this drama because we need the money, or I'm not going to take that thing, or it's not the right color. Oh my God, and it's going to go, it can also be a fight because sometimes, you want to return something and your wife or your mom or your sister or the person that is with you says, you're not returning it. And then you go, yes, I am. No, you're not. Because it's not worth it. Or we can resell it. Or I'm too ashamed or too shy, because there will be people that go, I'm not going to make enemies at the store that we go to every day. I'm not going to do that. Just seriously, you are embarrassing me and things like this. And then you're fighting with your couple because of this. I've seen this happen a lot, by the way. Oh my God, seriously, because my mom is the type of person that will go, we are going to return it. But my mom is kind of cool, and she will go, Mariel, you're doing it. And then I'm kind of like, why me? Well, what else do you think you're doing it? And then I go, oh crap, that happens because I am the one that always is, I'm the one who is always making friends with everybody. I'm the one that is kind of like an extrovert, and even though I am extremely shy, and even though I am the type of person that likes being alone all the time, I am the one that is always, extreme introverts have that kind of characteristic. They will say everything without having like a filter to anyone, and they will make friends because they go and they will say something nice to everybody, and everybody will know them. But it's you trying to do something on purpose, like you willingly go to a party, you willingly engaging into a conversation with somebody. No. Oh, and you want to explode because it doesn't flow. Oh God. So yes. So therefore, I am the one that has to do. I am the one that goes to the store, and I have to go to the cashier. Like, it's me again. Seriously, Oh God. And the reason why my mom will return something is mostly into the supermarket, because when my mom sends my aunt to do the shopping, my aunt gets the brand wrong. My aunt goes kind of like, yeah, we didn't find this brand, and I thought that it was the other brand, so she doesn't care. And since I go to the same supermarket, and everybody knows me in the supermarket because I have a tendency to kind of bribe people a lot. Not bribe, but sugarcoat things with everybody, because I have that. I have mentioned this in the reproduction list for shopping. And so everybody goes, hey, you're the girl that gave me last week. You gave me this as a present. Yes. So my aunt, yeah, what happened with her? Oh, she got the wrong brand again, and my mom is kind of like, she wants the right brand. Oh, no worry, no problems whatsoever. So yes, I do that because, but my mom doing the return, yeah, she doesn't do it. She just goes kind of like, I'm too lazy, or I am too angry with my whatever, and God, she doesn't have the temperament to do this, so I do it. Or sometimes my aunt goes and says, yes, because sometimes I will go and tell my aunt the names of the cashiers, and I will say, this is my aunt, and then I will introduce him or something, and then she will know. And sometimes she goes directly to the place, and then she goes, can I speak to this guy or this girl? Yes. okay, honey, yeah, what? I got the wrong brand, and then the cashier will help them because like I said, I had to send packages on a weekly basis for emergencies or for whatever because of my family, and I knew the people in the companies that do the packaging thing, and I also have like I said, I have a tendency to talk to people about a lot of things, and I have a tendency to ask like 1,000 questions also, because I want to understand how the hell can this happen, in certain places, and especially in supermarkets. I go kind of like, why do you change that to these? I don't understand these, or where do you have that, or things like this. And I talk to people, and I get their names and things like this. And so, in the cashier things and all the things. To the point in which my mom says, I don't know you, you're embarrassing me. Oh my God. Kind of like that. Especially when I am in my knees trying to get something from the floor, because that is where people hide it. My mom goes, oh God, you find it, you put it in a car, and then leave, because I'm not going to, oh crap, why do you expect me to do shopping the same way that you do it? And then I'm kind of like, yeah, that's because we want to get the things, right? And the things are hidden. And so, it's kind of like one of those things. And so it's very, very, very important that you understand about human relationships, because those are the ones that are going to help you do the shopping. They can either make your life better, or they can turn your life into a hell, because shopping is a universal process, meaning wherever you go, there is always going to be trading, and there is always going to be shopping. It's just something that you cannot, you can't avoid it. It's like you trying to get food. It's one of those things that you can't avoid. And so you want to understand what is happening from every perspective, meaning the cashiers, the managers, the other clients who are having a hard time because the clients are right, and you, and your group, as in your family or whoever is with you, your husband, your kid, or whatever. It's very, very, very important that you get it, and you want to try to make your best effort, because shopping is one of those things that should be pleasant, but it is probably not going to be pleasant anymore, especially if you are having trouble, like returning something. And you might, in some instances, returning something might be impossible because of the store policy or whatever. But if you are friends, and and you are in good terms with the cashiers or something like this, and in good terms with the managers, they might be able to do something for you. Meaning, you might be able to trade the item for store credit, even though that's not, a store policy for everybody else. But they will do it for clients who are frequent clients. And at this point, you having those store points or loyalty cards or stuff like this, you really want to use them frequently, because that way, you can prove that what you say about you being a client of this store for 10 years is actually true. Because, people will rotate jobs frequently, very frequently. So the cashier that you knew last year, it might not be the same this year, because that cashier might have gone to another country, or he might have gotten another job that pays better. And so, it's just temporary job for a lot of people. Some people will have their jobs like a cashier for 10 years and 20 years because they like it, and they love the store and they love the place, but other people will not. And so you gotta understand all of these things. And having said all of this, then I'm going to tell you that you also want to understand what are the top 10, and that is homework, because this one I cannot answer for you. You gotta understand what are the top 10 most returned items in your local area. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of them is going to probably very likely be if you buy ink for the cartridges for when you're printing in your home, because those are the ones that people go, yeah, that's it. No, it's not. oh, I got it the wrong size, or oh, I got it the wrong model. Oh, I got it. No, it says here that it's compatible, but it's not. And oh my God. So, ink cartridges like that is going to be one of those items that is going to be probably the most returned item, because you cannot take your printer, to the store. And sometimes the packages will say that these cartridges is actually compatible, but it is not. And so, it's one of those things that is difficult to buy. And you want to know which ones are the top 10 return items and the top 10 most difficult items to get. Not because of, not because, how to put it, not because they are scarce or whatever, but because it is difficult to get it right. Like, for example, when you buy shoes, it is difficult to buy shoes for your kids when you don't know their size, and you don't know their taste, and you don't know something like that. So the top 10 that is the most difficult items to get right, I will say, to get right. Just like I told you for the ink cartridges, because you cannot take the printer to the store. Similarly, there are things that you cannot take to the store and yet you need to take home. And the thought process as in, how do I buy this? Do I buy, because if you have choices, then you gotta, like sizes or colors or shapes or materials, or kind of like what are the top 10 that is most difficult for people to get in your area. Why? Well, because if you are in China, it's not the same as you buying in Venezuela or you buying in Europe. Reason being, well, like I said, your culture is going to be entirely different. And not only your culture, but also the weather, the materials, the cost is not the same. Even the stores that will carry these type of items are not even the same. So you need to do this to your local specialty and then write it down. And have this information shared with your family members, because they need to know about this, because otherwise, this will save time for everyone in the family. And also, it will avoid a hazard. And also, if you cannot return something after you buy it, and then you buy the wrong ink cartridges, what are you going to do with those? You now have to sell it or resell it, and then it's going to take time from other people and resources and gasoline and water, and oh my God. So seriously, just no. You really want to avoid the drama by whatever means necessary, especially when it comes to dealing with family members. Because if you go and tell your kid, your teen, hey, you are online, so sell these online, and your teen goes, I don't like selling anything. And now you're fighting with your teen because you are asking them to do stuff that they don't want to do. They might be ashamed or embarrassed to be selling things online. There are a lot of people that are like this. They are ashamed. And then, there is so many things that are happening that you might not be aware of. But you're thinking that it's easy. No, it's not. And so, try to understand that because shopping is universal, it will have light process and it will also have shadow process. You want to know both sides, because the shadow aspect will become an ETI, as in an everyday threat and an inconvenience. And you want to avoid the inconvenience, and you also want to avoid the threat as much as possible. Which is why you probably want to understand that whatever it is that you're doing is just one of those everyday things that is going to make your life either interesting or, just be on the way of the other things that you're supposed to be doing during that day. Having said all of that, then I will talk to you on the new stores and the new way of doing shopping, because somebody has to deal with all of these messes. And there is a way to make money out of it.